So I should start with the confession that I got in. We were visiting family in Hawaii. I got in about midnight last night. So forgive me for any slipping and sliding that I do around time and space. And it's really nice to be back and to see everybody. One of the highlights, besides being a family in Hawaii and all of that, is that we went down to we went way down to an isolated beach, and there was an endangered Hawaiian monk seal there with her pup, and we got to watch the pup nurse, which there was a naturalist down there protecting them. I mean, staking out the space. He said it's really unusual to get to watch them nurse. There's only 100 left on the big island, and not so many left. They're unique to Hawaiian Islands. So I just think, there's the world is what the world is right now, and there's just miracles in the midst of it. And when you get to see and experience something like that, for me, it's like, oh, this is why we're alive, and this is what's important, and why we practice. So announcements. We've been studying Koans through Zen Echoes, the classic Koans with verse commentaries by 3 female Zen masters. Oh, by Beata Grant. I just translated by I know her on Facebook. Sorry, I just made it. What happens when your mind slips around? It's like, wow. Okay. So this is our last week to do this, and then starting next week, so next Tuesday, next Thursday, and through August 5th, we're going to do what we do every summer, which is we have Sangha Way Seeking Mind Talks, which is a wonderful opportunity to get to hear from maybe there's a dozen of us that are going to do it this time. Some for the first time and some old timers for the second time, of just how you came to practice and what your practice is and what your practice story. So it's a really sweet and intimate time of getting to know each other more deeply. And I think the experience always is that whatever your story is, it's also my story. It's all of our stories. We just have a slightly different entry point to it. And that in itself is always precious. It always makes me want to go out and just be nicer to everybody, because everybody has a story. August 3rd, we're doing something we've been wanting to do for a long time. But we won't be doing a one-day sitting. We'll be doing practicing in nature, a day of practicing in nature, and Gretchen and Shelley are going to be our primary guides at Regal Park. Lay entrustment ceremony. You've gotten all this information, but I have to say I'm excited about all of this. Chelsea. A couple of years ago, Erica Wild, we did a lay entrustment ceremony, and Erica's going to fly in from Colorado to participate in this, and the 3 of us will spend an evening, August 8th and 9th, and with the ceremony at night, just as in the Dharma transmission ceremonies. And then on the 12th, there'll be a ceremony here for Erica. And it's a ways off, but because I've been immersed in that too, reading the Avatamsaka Sutra on the airplane, which the person sitting next to me said, "What are you doing?" I said, well, it's a Buddhist sutra and the world's in trouble and it's one way to help. And they both went, yep. So it's an extravagant and wonderful sutra that's only about this thick. So trying to figure out how we're going to do this. And the practice period will start on August 12th and go through December 6th and 7th and end with the Buddhist Enlightenment Retreat. October 12th through December 6th through 7th. Good thing you guys are tracking me. August, well, good. Glad I started with the pure practice of confession. I'm fine. Yeah. And our Shusho is going to be Rachel, and that didn't make her nervous at all. And I'm really looking, you didn't know we're starting? Okay. And thank you to Gretchen and Constance and Marilyn for helping, and all of you for helping care for the Sangha this past week. I just love it when I hear people say, that was such a great talk. That was so wonderful. It's so sweet how rich and deep this Sangha is. So the koan I chose me for tonight is case 22, the Blue Cliff Records. Zhao Zhou checks out the old woman. I was doing a little reverie while I sat here in Zazen, so I'll just tell you my little reverie. Is one, it's important that it's an old woman, somebody who's been around for a while. And then I thought of grandmotherly mind, the importance of Dogen. Boy, we'll see where we get to tonight. I'll stop myself at a certain point. The story about Dogen, our venerable ancestor, is that when he was dying and wanted to pull forward someone to lead the monastery when he could no longer do it, when he was gone, there was someone that everybody thought that he would transmit and empower because it was the smartest person. You know, it's a little bit like not Subhuti, Shariputra. And Dogen said, you have everything, but what you don't have is grandmotherly mind. And so he pulled forward someone else. So the question of what is grandmotherly mind? When I was at a Heiji in Japan, got to travel there with Everyday Zen, and Suzuki Roshi's son Witsu was leading the group. He was one of the main trainers there. And I asked him, what is grandmotherly mind? And he said, it's imagination, which actually made me cry. It's like, but then what is imagination? You know, what is it to live in this world alive, right in the center, in the potency of creativity and imagination? And then I thought, because I was studying the Avatamsaka Sutra through a Korean lens, is that what the Koreans apparently call the teachings, the Dharma teachings, is they say they're round, which is what I've always thought, they're round. They're not linear. It's not this and then this. It's each thing is in the center of the whole universe, is the whole center of the whole universe. And what if we knew that all these overlapping ripples and circles of alive, how differently we would act? And then I thought, I'll stop in a minute. I was with a 2-year-old. It's so, on this face, it's so sweet being with a 2-year-old. And you really do enter into an imaginal space. It's like rolling a ball down some steps is like one of the most amazing. It's like she giggles and then you giggle and you can't believe how cool it is. And then you're going to do it again and you're going to do it again. It's like, wow. And then who knows what's going to happen next. So that's maybe my commentary. But what I want to do is I'm going to read you the koan. I'm going to read you a commentary by the three, Maizhang, Baoqi, and Zuki, maybe say a little bit. And then I want to jump over to a koan which feels similar to me in feeling, and the commentary is by Joanna Macy. I hope I have time to do all this because Joanna Macy, who is the grandmother of teaching about Dharma and nature, just an amazing human being who's transformed Buddhism for all of us, is in hospice. So it seemed really appropriate to call her forward. Then we'll see what actually happens. Okay. Plus, I love this. A monk who was a disciple of Zhaozhou was traveling to Mount Wutai. He asked an old woman, which is the road that leads to Mount Wutai, which is the temple, which is the high training place, and she responded, the old woman responded, just go straight ahead. Often it's translated as just right straight ahead. That's the one I carry with me all the time, just right straight ahead. After the monk had left, the old woman said, there you have another good monk who has gone on his way. Later, when a monk asked Zhaozhou about this, Zhaozhou said, wait until I have checked her out. The next day, Zhaozhou went and asked the way to Mount Wutai. And the old woman said, just go straight ahead, right straight ahead. This is funny. I think these stories are funny. After Zhaozhou had left, the old woman said, there goes another good monk who has gone on his way. When Zhaozhou returned to the monastery, he said to the monk, I have checked out the old woman of Mount Wu for you. So here's my Zhang's commentary. Crouching at the foot of the ancient road to Tai Mountain, traveling monks come and go, meeting with spears and shields. Zhaozhou lifts up the arrows of the great hero, but once he has shot through the skeleton, he stops. So here's the little footnote. To shoot through or pierce the skeleton is a Chan or Zen simile used to refer to the cutting off of all physical and mental bases of discursive thought. Someone who is free from thoughts of attachment to either samsara, the suffering world, or nirvana, of getting out of it, is also referred to as a skeleton. It's like right down to the bones. Just shot right through the skeleton. It's like, it's all right here. It's like, where do you think you're going? That she just sits there, and all these really young, eager monks are trying to figure out this and that, and it feels like she just kind of loves them all, and she just kind of knows that's what you have to do. Is you have to think there's some place you're going, and you have to try to get there, but she's just sitting there, and just like right straight ahead. Just this is it. This is it. There you go, on your way. Okay, Bauchi. When Zhaozhou's eyeballs shoot forth a light, the old woman's brows are thrown to the ground. Can you? Part of my mind does a cartoon. Can you? Just like this light comes out, and the old woman's eyebrows, that just something happens, and nothing happens. And there's the saying too of, it's as plain as the nose on your face, or I think nose vertical, eyebrows horizontal. It's all right here. Although each appears to have sealed the border, in the end, neither one is able to get themselves out. Let's sit leisurely on top of the mountain peak and watch as the one falls and the other rises. Let's just sit here. Watch it all come, watch it all go. No coming, no going. Standing up, sitting down, just right straight ahead. This is it. I can never tell when I say these things. I look around to see if you're as entertained as I am. Okay, Zuki, go straight ahead. Go straight ahead. Distracted, he mistakes the road that was pointed out. Oh, it's like, I got it. What did you get? Traveling south, north, east, and west through the grasses, how many times can he go round and back in circles? Oh, lifetimes. That's my commentary. What Zhao Zhou checked out, there are few who understand. Returning home in the spring breeze, singing and dancing alone. Tut, that wild fox. Returning home in the spring breeze, singing and dancing alone. Tut, that wild fox, alone and completely at one with all things. Pointing it out, all becomes clear, nothing to be done. In great peace, grasses and trees exhaust the weapons of war. In great peace, grasses and trees exhaust the weapons of war. The general with a single arrow penetrates the three barriers, the sun and the moon, both round. There it is. Beat out a joyful melody. The commentary on three barriers. Three gates or barriers pierced by a single arrow can refer to a penetrating insight, or in this case, a single phrase or action that rids someone of all of their delusions. Everything is suddenly round, beating out a joyful melody, the whole world singing and dancing, the whole world home. These are nice, huh? Okay. We're doing fine. Now I get to tell you about Joanna Macy. I think these are so helpful, especially in this time. It's like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Yeah, just right straight ahead. Just feel your feet on the ground. Take a breath. Feel the roundness of everything. The vast and complete interpenetration. And then see what arises next. And it's why we need Sangha, because it's really easy to get scared and fearful, which actually is also an appropriate response, but then take a breath. Okay, here's Joanna Macy's Chen's Mountain Flowers, China 7th through 9th centuries. Chen was a laywoman who traveled far and wide, visiting famous masters. After she realized enlightenment, she composed the following verse. Up on the high slopes, I see only old woodcutters. Everyone has the spirit of the knife and the axe. How can they see the mountain flowers reflected in the water? Glorious red. Up on the high slopes, I see only old woodcutters. Everyone has the spirit of the knife and the axe. How can they see the mountain flowers reflected in the water? Glorious red. So I'm going to read parts of Joanna's reflection. Laywoman Chen has seen a lot of the world in her journeys from one spiritual master to another. She has kept her eyes wide open. She's noticed what's going on. Even up on the high slopes where the trees grow sparse and vegetation thins out, she sees what people are up to, busily hacking away at anything that can serve as fuel. The old woodcutters are only doing what's been done for generations, taking from earth whatever can be used. They've grown so accustomed to sawing and chopping, it's how they define themselves and their purpose of existence. I'll just say this in a slightly different way. We human beings have grown so accustomed to sawing and chopping at things as if they are things. It's how we define ourselves, and we think it's our purpose for existence. Their tools, knife and axe, delusions, shape their perceptions, direct their movements, become, in a sense, who they are. It's not just those others out there that we think are deluded and confused. I love how Chen observes this. I am moved that her quest for enlightenment has not closed her eyes to what is being done and to the workaday world. It still summons her attention even after she finally realizes enlightenment. You know, the verse in the precept ceremony where it says, even after attaining enlightenment, I mean, whatever that means, will you still continue to observe this way? Will you still continue to be right here in the middle of the world, living for and with all beings? And then you say, what do you say?
Yes, I will.
That was really good. Okay. I appreciate this because my attention too is so preoccupied with what we collectively are doing to our world. I cannot drive it from my mind. My spiritual practice calls me to come to terms with the destruction we humans are causing. I wouldn't want an enlightenment that would keep me from knowing and feeling the ways our actions are unraveling the very web of life. My commentary, I first met Joanna when my husband and I were leaving San Francisco Zen Center, and we wanted to go to Sri Lanka. And she was really at that time, in terms of Buddhist movements that were engaged Buddhist movements, there still aren't many, but the Sarvodaya movement in Sri Lanka was really viable and active until the Civil War. But Joanna was really intimately involved. I mean, she's just been doing this forever. I want to be present to the suffering that comes with, quote, the spirit of the knife and the axe, the spirit of bulldozer and chainsaw, to deep sea drilling and mountaintop removal of factory farms and genetically modified seeds. There are different ways of responding to this hacking away, and my customary response is one of outrage and opposition. I want to make these actions stop. Anybody identify? And in order to stop them, I'm ready to harangue those involved, to shame them and show them how wrong they are, to try to take away their tools and their funding. I don't think to aim for anything more. And indeed, outrage and opposition do save some mountain flowers. How different is Chen's response? Instead of staying riveted on what the woodcutters are doing, her mind turns to what they are missing. The mountain flowers are right there in full view. The blossoms are real and red, glorious to behold. See how the water repeats them in its quivering mirror. Chen returns us to our senses. And that is what she wishes for the woodcutters, to see and feel the life around them. Look, right here on the branch of this tree you're chopping. See the bright flowers. As she snaps them awake from their habitual behavior, the world comes into focus. That's the kind of stopping she aims for. That's the kind of stopping where one comes back to oneself. Say it again. That's the kind of stopping she aims for. That's the kind of stopping where one comes back to oneself. And oneself is the place where real change can occur. Right straight ahead. It's not what you think. Come back to your senses. Round world, the question that Sue Moon and Florence Caplow pose. Why is it so easy to forget to pay attention to the beauty all around us? Why is it so easy to forget to pay attention to the beauty all around us? And I would add, not as a dissociative state, which is we'll just ignore all the rest of it so that we can walk in beauty. What is this round world that includes everything? And the admonition, the deep teaching of just right straight ahead. So now you get your chance. So I'm going to suggest groups of 3, find people you don't usually talk to, and I'll put you guys in groups, and maybe Gretchen